I completely understand why so many artists see this new technology of digital and AI art as a threat. This is what Google's Nano Banana made me when I asked, make me a picture of a black bear playing a stand-up bass in a beautiful forest with a host of creatures watching. And this is what I got when I asked for, make an image of a view over Yosemite in the fall with all the waterfalls flowing well and a beautiful sunset in a painterly style like Claude Monet. Both were created by Google's Gemini engine in less than a minute, yet it did put the sunset in the east. But I'm maybe just being picky. So, will it destroy the art market? Will it make all my work, craft, and knowledge worthless? Is it a threat to society? Let's talk. I'm Mark, and this is We Talk Art. Full disclosure, I've played around with both digital and AI art. Don't hate me, please. Since much of my career involved computers, I've always found digital art fascinating. I have been toying with it for probably 50 years, ever since I saw a computer at UC Berkeley print out a picture of Spock on a teletype style printer. With that said, I've always seen digital art in all its forms as a different thing than fine art. At the same time, there is no doubt that computers have had an influence on fine art. If we look back at art going all the way back to the beginning, there's always been disruptors. I can only imagine a caveman or woman working on a wall of his or her clan's cave with the charcoal of last night's fire to have some kid come in with some ochre they found in a bog somewhere and be slapping up bright ochre handprints on the same wall. Oh no, my art sucks now. That kid has color. Other disruptors like paper, canvas, pre-made paints, printmaking, photography, digital photography, and now glacé printing, all were probably perceived by artists of the time as a threat. Or maybe amazing. It should be noted that all of which actually moved art along and grew it. Probably with a little bit of pain though. Printmaking made it possible for artists to get their work in far more people's hands and made the careers of artists like Da Vinci. Photography disrupted portrait painters, but allowed far more artists to make money and far more people to have portraits of loved ones on their wall. And later became a fine art all to itself. And it should be noted that it is still traditional mediums like painting and sculpture that demand the highest prices in galleries and auctions. Giclée printing and reproductions can now produce copies of artwork that look almost as good as the original, and yet it has only expanded the art market, grown the money artists can make off of their efforts, and put more art in more people's hands. So, here we are presented with two new technologies that are disruptors, digital art and AI. Are they different? We artists can cry, whine, and blame, fearing that some pasty-skinned 15-year-old geek is going to come out with this era's Starry Night or The Night's Watch or that big metal balloon dog, which will probably make us all look like butthurt Neanderthals that hate progress, or we can react in a way that might benefit us as traditional artists. As I said in the beginning, I've always seen digital art and its variations as different. It is not an oil painting, a drawing, a sculpture, or even a photograph. All these still imply that they were made by humans. It will be up to the greater artist community to drill the point home with all the art-loving audience that these mediums and the fact that they are made by us lowly humans has value. I just saw and often see shows in museums of art that would not be considered sophisticated art. Immature craft, cheap materials, simple execution, but the art has value because of who made it, when it was made, and the story. Remember that the value of art is only partially based on how amazing the art is. it is even more important who made it and the story. Right now, AI's story is simple, novelty, and it's probably not going to be that way for long. Do I think that digital art and AI art is here to stay? Yeah. Do I think that digital art and AI art will disrupt fine art? Yes, it already has. Do I think that digital art and AI art will destroy fine art, the art market, society as a whole? No. How much our precious art market gets disrupted is going to be based on the story we as artists tell. If we act like bitter troglodytes, I think we'll get crushed. If we tell a story of the value of human made art and the story of the process, we as artists and our art market will endure and I think continue to grow. We as artists may need to get together and come up with an approach, a plan, or a dialogue. Perhaps we need to form a society of human artists and certify us as human artists. Or perhaps we just need to continue making, showing, and selling human made art. I feel like the topic could go on for a while, but I think I addressed what I set out to say. Although I did not address aspects like copyright questions that have been asked and will probably be ongoing, ethical questions that are sure to arise, like artists trying to pass off AI art as something else, which is already happening a lot online, unfortunately. And what is acceptable use of AI for artists. For instance, the idea of the bear playing the bass was my idea, but it was Nano Banana's interpretation of that idea. If I were to make a drawing or a painting of that, would it be mine? Or how much do I have to change it for it to be mine? Artists have been using a wide range of materials for their source for art for ages. And, still like an artist. But I feel like there is a line there that we will have to define, and it may be very important for our story. Also, if I asked Nano Banana to render the Yosemite scene in some contemporary artist style, I don't think you can copyright a style. But it feels wrong. I might come back to some of these topics in future videos. With that said, those are my thoughts on AI and digital art. I am sure you have some thoughts on the topic too. Please leave those in the comments below. Be courteous and kind. I think a lot of people have really strong feelings about this. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos by We Talk Art, I'm going to put 2 more you may be interested up on the screen that you can click on. Otherwise, go make some art.